You ever have one of those Tuesdays where your coffee tastes like a bad decision you didn't even make? That was me, half a latte deep, Slack exploding, when I realized my apartment door had just gone viral, and I was still 3 miles away. So, hi. I'm Maya. 31, product designer, allergic to drama unless it's on TV with subtitles and snacks. I live at Conifer Tower in downtown Denver. Leaseholder. Renter of Unit 2106. My name. My deposit. My laughably small balcony with the one plant I've kept alive for 2 years, Fern Diesel. Until this past Tuesday at 10:17 a.m., I was also the girlfriend of a 27-year-old aspiring DJ/content guy named Zane. If you've ever dated a man who refers to the algorithm like it's a moody god you have to appease with offerings of ring lights and unboxing videos, yeah, that's Zane. He'd moved in temporarily 4 months earlier after his roommate ghosted the lease. Translation, he stopped paying rent and Zane got bounced. We did a trial. I said we'd figure it out. Dumb. But here we are. I'm in a stand-up meeting, literal, because my boss thinks sitting is a hate crime, when my phone starts buzzing like a beehive. Texts from 3 friends, my cousin in Boulder, and my hairstylist, which is alarming because she only texts me to confirm bangs are a bad idea. All the messages say some version of, "Girl, are you watching Zane's live right now?" I open TikTok. Boom. There he is, in my living room. Not our living room. My living room. 12,800 people watching him straddle a toolbox he definitely borrowed from my downstairs neighbor. The live caption reads, "Lock change challenge, he won't answer his phone, #moving in #new era." Zane is grinning at the camera like he's about to drop a summer anthem. "Alright, chat," he says, "today we're reclaiming energy. When someone doesn't respect your vibe, you protect your space." He holds up a receipt. Deadbolt kit, $39.97. Easy install. Let's go. My brain does a full blue screen. I am watching my boyfriend attempt to change my lock. I'm live, while I'm at work, while 12,000 strangers spam heart emojis. Comments fly. King behavior? Is this legal? LOL. Put his stuff in the hall. He props his phone against my coffee table and lines up the drill with the existing lock. I know that drill. I bought that drill when my bookshelf tried to murder me last year. He wobbles the bit, squints at the instructions like they're quantum physics, then says, "It can't be that hard, anyone with a toolbox can do this." Ping. Slack. "Everything okay?" my manager asks privately. I type, "Mild emergency. Be right back." Out loud, I say, "I need 5. Then I'm sprinting to the elevator like it owes me money. In the lift, I'm still on the live. Zane reads a comment on screen, "Bro, that's illegal." He laughs. "It's not illegal if you live here. Common law, baby." He winks. Colorado law, I googled. I do not practice law, but I do practice common sense, and none of this smells like it. I call Conifer Tower security. "Hi, this is Unit 2106. My guest is on TikTok live trying to change my locks." "Are you the sole leaseholder?" the guard asks, very calm, like I'm reporting a raccoon. "Yes." "Sole." Maya Brooks. "We're sending officers Patel and Lang up now. ETA 3 minutes. I get to the building. The lobby security screen shows my door camera feed, Zane on my rug, a glitter of screws rolling around like confetti. I fly up to the 21st floor, turn the corner, and, yep, I can hear him through the door. The drill squeals like a stressed hamster. My key slides in like butter. Click. I push the door open. He freezes mid-drill. The chat goes feral. He turns the phone so the camera gets me in full work-from-home chic, black tee, messy bun, face of a woman who regrets dating a man who calls himself a brand. "Oh hey, Maya," Zane says, like I'm the maintenance lady. "We're just making a few improvements." "We?" I say, looking around. "You and the 12,000 people witnessing your felony?" "Baby, don't be dramatic. We live here." "No," I say, calm. "I live here. You crash here. There is a difference." He flips the camera back to his face. "Chat, see? This is the disrespect I'm talking about. She's been ignoring my texts for hours." "It's a Tuesday morning," I say. "People, work. Knock knock." Security. Officer Patel, mid-40s, tired eyes that say I've seen everything, and Officer Lang, younger, trying very hard not to smile. Patel takes in the door, the half-mauled lock, the drill, the phone streaming to an audience that is definitely screen recording. Sir, Patel says, are you on the lease for Unit 2106? Zane puffs. I contribute. We split things. We're basically common law. Patel looks at me. I show him the building portal on my phone. My lease. My name. Paid on time. Lang peeks at the TikTok live, raises his eyebrows at the view count. Sir, Patel says, slow and patient, you cannot change locks in a unit when you are not the leaseholder. Zane scoffs. It's my home. It is not, Patel says. Right now, you are a guest. And your live stream is documentation. The chat explodes again. Zane starts to talk faster, influencer voice dialed to 11. We had an agreement, he tells the camera. We said we'd build a life. She's trying to erase me. I look right into his phone. Hi, chat. I'm Maya. The person with the lease. He is not being erased. He is being asked not to commit a crime on the internet. Patel steps in. Sir, I need you to pack your personal items. You're leaving now. Zane's jaw works. You can't side with her just because. We're siding with the law, Patel says, all vowels sharpened. Zane looks at me, drops the drill, and does this big wounded inhale like he's auditioning for a hospital drama. Wow. You would humiliate me in front of my whole community. You brought your community to my door, I say. He turns the phone back to himself, eyes shiny. This is domestic abuse, he whispers, and the chat splits into two armies, #justice for Z and bro you literally drilled the door. Lang clears his throat. Sir. 30 minutes. Pack your clothes, your laptop, your toothbrush. Do not take anything that is not yours. We'll escort you out. Zane tries a last Hail Mary. I gave her that PS5. No, I say. You gave me your password. He points at my air fryer. What about? Zane, I say, I bought that on a very sad night with 2 burns to prove it. He starts grabbing shirts, talking to his audience. This is what happens when you build someone else's dream, he says, folding a hoodie wrong. They forget who helped. Patel arches a brow. Who paid rent? Not the point, Zane mutters. 26 minutes later, he's got 2 duffel bags and a handful of cables he swears are his. The live is still running. Patel nods at the phone. End it. You're disturbing residents. Zane stares into the camera, whispers, they're forcing me off live, and taps in like he's dropping a funeral curtain. Lang is biting his lip to keep from laughing. We walk to the elevator. Zane keeps trying to catch my eye. At the lobby, he turns around with this shaky smile. I'll be back, he says. Once my lawyer explains tenants' rights. Patel taps a tablet. You've been removed from this unit's guest list. Any return without permission will be trespassing. Zane swallows. The doors open. He steps out into the lobby's winter light like a man entering an after-school special. The elevator closes. I go back upstairs. The lock is a disaster, chewed metal and injured pride. Maintenance quotes me $160 to fix it same day. I pay it with the speed of a woman who wants to sleep tonight. That evening, Zane posts a story, illegally evicted. No place to go. Pray for me. Then he posts a little slideshow like a get ready with me except it's just pictures of him frowning at coffee. My friends send screenshots with boy by energy. And me? I sit on my couch with Fern Diesel and a reheated burrito, watching the city lights blink, and I think, I didn't humiliate him. He humiliated himself. I just opened the door. I also order a smart lock. The expensive kind. Because Denver sunsets are beautiful, but paranoia is louder. Quick question, at what point does a breakup become a public utility? Is it when your ex turns it into a TikTok series, or when your HR rep knows the episode titles? By Friday, Zane had pivoted from Pray For Me to full-blown docuseries. Episode 1, Thrown into the Cold, Her True Colors. Episode 2, Tenant Rights 101, Share to Educate. He started a GoFundMe titled Emergency Housing After Illegal Lockout. The goal was $8,000. The photo? A selfie of him looking tragically windswept under the Conifer Tower logo. The caption, "She used security to silence me. I'm seeking justice," and a couch. My phone lit up like a pinball machine. Old coworkers I hadn't seen since pre-pandemic sent me the link with that cautious, "Hey, is this about you?" tone. My cousin texted, "If he raises more than your monthly rent, I will scream." HR called me into a quick Zoom. "We're getting a handful of passionate emails," my HR rep said, carefully neutral. I showed her the building report and a screen recording of the live. She watched Zane attempting home surgery on my door, hand over mouth, then said, "Okay. We'll filter future messages. If any escalate, we'll loop legal." She paused. "He really went live to change your lock?" "Yeah," I said. "He hosts chaos like it's a brand deal." I retained a lawyer that afternoon, Lauren Nguyen, the calmest scalpel in Denver. I dropped a folder of screenshots on her desk, Zane's live, the comments, the GoFundMe, the tenant rights carousel post where he claimed receiving Amazon packages at an address makes you a co-landlord. Lauren read everything, nodded once, and said, "Document, don't engage. If he tries anything in court, we'll counter with harassment and property damage." Saturday morning, Conifer Security called. "Ms. Brooks? Your former guest is in the lobby insisting he needs to collect items she stole." I went down with Patel and Lang. Zane had his phone out, of course. He was live streaming to a smaller audience, 3,000, maybe, but they were loud. He turned the camera on me like a flashlight. "There she is," he said. "Denver's coldest heart." I waved. "Please list the items you'd like to collect." He pointed at the ceiling like we were in a courtroom drama. "My vinyl collection. My interface. My ring light. And my grandmother's quilt." I blinked. "You brought none of those to my apartment." He squinted. "Metaphorically." Patel sighed, the sound of 1,000 Tuesdays. "Sir, you may retrieve any items you can prove are yours. We will escort you." Zane hesitated, then pivoted. "Actually, I'll come back with a locksmith." I was illegally locked out. Patel tapped his tablet again. "You are not on the lease. Any locksmith called to this building will be informed. Also, you've been formally warned about trespassing." Zane ended the live dramatically, like a final bow. He turned to me, voice low. "You know I was going to propose, right?" Reader, he was not. The man once forgot to Venmo me for a pizza because gratitude is a currency. I kept my voice even. "Zane, go home. Work on yourself." He came back Tuesday, with his mom. I am not making this up. They were waiting at my door when I got home, Zane in a puffer jacket, Mom in a church lady cardigan and the expression of someone who's about to file a complaint with a manager named Destiny. She led with, "Young lady, you cannot throw out the father of your child." Time slowed. Somewhere, a violin screeched. "I'm sorry, what?" Zane looked at the carpet. "We're expecting." I stared at his mother, then at him. "Show me a doctor's note." He swallowed. "We haven't been." "Show me a test." "She didn't keep it." "She," I repeated. "Who is she?" His mom went for moral outrage. "How dare you question?" Patel appeared like Batman with paperwork. "Even if there were a child, this would be a matter for family court. It does not change guest status. You are trespassing." They left, tossing me glares like confetti. 10 minutes later, Zane posted, "She's forcing me to abandon my family." Comments were divided, some ride-or-die fans, some bro please present evidence, some this arc is getting weird. 2 days later, a letter arrived from Morgan and Peters, attorneys at law, a strip mall practice between a vape shop and a tax place. Zane was suing me in small claims for $10,500, back rent contributions, emotional hardship, lost content revenue, and damage to a sentimental hoodie. Lauren laughed so gently I felt hugged. "Great," she said. "We'll bring the live, the lease, the security logs, and your receipts. Also, lost content revenue is not a thing." The next 3 weeks were a masterclass in documentation. I kept a running timeline, the day of the live, copies of posts, timestamps, screenshots of him telling people Amazon packages equals tenant rights. I pulled statements showing every rent payment I'd made, every maintenance charge, including the $160 lock repair, and even my order history for the air fryer he tried to claim. Meanwhile, Zane doubled down. He tried bringing a locksmith. Security stopped them in the lobby, showed the locksmith the building system where Zane's photo was tagged banned for attempted illegal lock change. The locksmith left without charging. Zane posted a tearful video about corrupt buildings and gatekeeping tools. The comments were rough. "Buddy, you streamed a crime. Just apologize and move on." Recipe for tenant rights: 1 Amazon box plus 1 ring light equals homeownership. Court day came fast. Zane arrived in a suit that looked borrowed and a binder that looked heavy. His mom came for moral support and cross-examination audible sighs. He went first. 5 breathless minutes about how I used security to silence his voice, how he invested sweat equity in our relationship, sir, how content his labor and I destroyed his brand. Then Lauren stood and said, very mildly, "Your Honor, we'd like to play a short video." We rolled the TikTok live. Zane, on my rug, reading out lock change challenge and winking at the camera. Patel explaining leases. Me saying, "Hi chat, I'm Maya." The judge watched, expression neutral. When it ended, she looked at Zane and said, "Mr. Carter, you documented yourself attempting to change a lock in a unit you do not lease. Why?" He shifted. "It was content." "And illegal," the judge said. Claims for back rent contributions without evidence of payments to the landlord are not legally recognized. Lost content revenue is speculative. Emotional hardship you caused yourself. Sentimental hoodie, do you have proof of damage? Zane looked at me like maybe I'd admit to setting his hoodie on fire with my mind. I blinked politely. "Case dismissed," the judge said. "Court costs to the plaintiff, $325. And, Mr. Carter? Further harassment could be grounds for a restraining order." Outside, Zane's mom went off like a small fireworks show. "You ruined his life. He's a good boy. He's a grown man who drilled my door on TikTok," I said, and walked into the ordinary sunlight like it was a blessing. Back at Conifer, maintenance finished installing my new smart lock. Patel showed me how to set guest codes. I set one for my best friend, one for my cousin, and one called "Do Not Give to Zane," just to make myself laugh. That night, I put my phone face down and watched the sky over the Rockies fade from lavender to navy. My apartment, my tiny home with one dramatic fern and a coffee table that's seen things, felt quiet again. Not empty, peaceful. And if I still check the peephole sometimes before I open the door? Look, when your breakup trends, you earn the right to add a little ritual. You ever open your phone and realize you're trending for something you didn't even post? Yeah. That was my Sunday morning, and spoiler, I hadn't even brushed my teeth yet. So here's the thing about viral chaos, it doesn't stop when you log off. The video of Zane's lock-changing stunt had been screen-recorded, remixed, and uploaded everywhere. Some guy on YouTube titled it "Influencer Illegally Tries to Evict Girlfriend Live, Instant Karma." And in 48 hours, it hit 1.2 million views. Which would have been funny, if it didn't include my apartment number on the doorplate. I woke up to 53 unread DMs, half from strangers telling me I was a queen, the other half calling me a cold corporate witch who hates artists. He'd built a sympathy machine, crying videos, sad music, captions like "I gave her everything, she gave me security guards." He even started a new hashtag, #Justice for Zane. His followers spammed my comment section, my LinkedIn, even my Yelp reviews for a bakery I hadn't visited in 2 years. It was surreal. I blocked him, muted the tag, tried to just breathe. Then my door buzzer went off at 9 p.m. on a Wednesday. Patel's voice came through the intercom, "Ms. Brooks, your former guest is in the lobby again." I closed my eyes. Of course he is. Apparently, Zane had shown up with a duffel bag, a vlogger friend, and an iPhone on a tripod. He told security he was reclaiming his narrative. Patel called the cops. They gave him a formal trespass citation this time. Zane posted about it within an hour. Police called on me for trying to retrieve what's mine. America's broken. Attached was a blurry photo of Patel's elbow. Comments: "Bro, stop. She's living rent-free in your head and you're living nowhere." That night, I did something that felt weirdly empowering. I laughed. Like, ugly laughed. Because at that point it was too absurd not to. The man was out here cosplaying as a political prisoner because I changed a lock. But by Friday, absurd became exhausting. Someone leaked my building name and work address. HR looped legal again. My lawyer, Lauren, drafted a cease and desist faster than I could make coffee. We emailed it to his budget lawyer, who dropped him 2 days later. Apparently, Zane didn't pay retainers any better than rent. He pivoted again. New storyline, she weaponized the system against me. He posted a crying video on a park bench, wearing a hoodie that said "Believe men too." The comments were brutal. Even his own fans were like, "Dude, we watched the video. You tried to change a lock on camera." He started deleting replies faster than he used to delete texts about chores. Then, one Saturday, I got a call from my mom. "Maya, did you really evict that boy while he was homeless?" "Mom, please don't tell me you're watching his TikToks." He showed a video where security dragged him. Dragged him? They handed him his own duffel bag and called him an Uber. Still. He looked thin. "Mom, he's vegan." Pause. "Well, you always liked a challenge." "Thanks, Mom." But the real breaking point came 3 weeks later when I got a court summons. Zane had officially filed a small claims lawsuit for $11,750. Line items included: back rent contributions, $4,000. Lost emotional equity, $3,000. Content monetization damages, $2,000. Replacement of stolen PlayStation controller, $350. Trauma therapy fund, $400. Lauren Reddit, deadpan. "Is emotional equity a cryptocurrency I haven't heard of?" I just stared. "We're going to court for a controller and feelings?" She smiled. "Oh, we're not going to court to lose, Maya. We're going to court to end the season finale." And so we did. The day of the hearing, the courtroom smelled like old carpet and bad choices. Zane showed up in a too-tight navy suit and that same self-righteous glow he used for live streams. His mom sat behind him clutching tissues like props. He opened with a speech, because of course he did. Talked about creative partnership, mutual energy, shadow work. Said he'd been financially manipulated and emotionally displaced. At one point, he quoted Brené Brown. I swear, even the stenographer paused like, "Girl, what?" Then Lauren stood up, clicked her laptop, and said, "Your Honor, we'd like to play Exhibit A." The video filled the courtroom. Zane on my rug, grinning, holding up the deadbolt receipt. "Lock change challenge, baby." Then Patel enters frame. Zane arguing. Me standing there, calm, holding the lease. Security escorting him out. 15,000 people watching in real time. Silence. The judge leaned back, folded her hands, and said, "Mr. Carter, you understand you recorded yourself attempting an illegal lock change?" He mumbled, "It was symbolic." She blinked. Symbolic crime is still crime. 10 minutes later, case dismissed. Plus, he had to pay $325 in court costs. His mom gasped like someone died. The judge wasn't done. "If you continue harassment, the defendant has full grounds for a restraining order." Zane started crying. Not movie crying, real ugly, hiccup crying. His mom glared at me like I'd kicked a puppy. "You've destroyed his life," she hissed. I shrugged. He live streamed it. I just paid the maintenance fee. People keep asking if I regret it, the public mess, the viral chaos, the court showdown. And honestly, I regret dating a man who thinks a tripod is a personality. It's been 2 months since the courtroom fireworks. Zane disappeared from my feed, finally. His TikTok went dark for 3 weeks, then came back with a healing journey post, him doing yoga in a parking lot, talking about rising from censorship. The comments were just laughing emojis. Meanwhile, the lock change video? Yeah, it hit 3.5 million views. Reaction lawyers on YouTube dissected it frame by frame. Titles like "What Not to Do as a Tenant" and "This Guy's TikTok Just Became Exhibit A." Even a real estate podcast called it the dumbest cell phone of the decade. His follower count dropped from 14K to under 6K. Mine? I didn't check, but my DMs were full of brands offering me home security sponsorships. I said no, obviously. But I did buy a Ring doorbell and a smart lock with an app that pings me if anyone so much as breathes near my door. Worth every penny. Life went on. Work was fine. Fern Diesel thrived. I started dating again, a guy named Eli, who, when I told him the story, laughed so hard he spit coffee. Then he said, "Wait, you're the lock girl?" Yup. Apparently, I'd become a meme. There's a screenshot of me saying, "Hi, chat. I'm Maya." It's now used as a reaction image for people shutting down nonsense. Not how I plan to go viral, but hey, legacy's legacy. One evening, I got a text from a mutual friend. He posted again. I clicked. A video titled, "Story Time, How My Ex Stole My Home." Same tired music. Same pity eyes. Only now, the story was completely rewritten. In his version, I was the squatter, he was the victim, and the security guards were corrupt. He'd cropped out every part where he looked guilty. But the internet? It remembered. Comments were savage. "Bro, we saw the original. You can't gaslight the cloud. She didn't steal your home, she changed your locks, on your lies." Even a lawyer stitched it saying, "Sir, this isn't defamation. It's documentation." And that's when I realized something freeing. I didn't have to keep defending myself. Because the truth had already gone viral. My silence was louder than his spin. I closed the app, made tea, and sat on my balcony. Denver was gold in the late sunset. For the first time in months, my phone wasn't buzzing. No alarms, no hashtags, no drama. Just me, Fern Diesel, in a city that had somehow survived both of us. You know what's funny? Sometimes people stop me in coffee shops and whisper, "Are you the girl from a lock video?" And I just smile and say, "Yeah. But it's Maya now." Not content, just a person again. And if you want the moral, here it is. Don't build your worth on someone else's Wi-Fi. Don't confuse attention for affection. And for the love of smart locks, if someone tries to make your heartbreak go live, end the stream yourself.